Today I'm going to show you how to make this 12th scale bag. It's really easy to make, quite quick as well. It can be used for a variety of things: shopping bag, a knitting bag, maybe a baby care bag, beach bag. Possibilities are endless. And all you need is the fabric, or coordinating fabric. I've used leather straps here, but for this one I've used just normal fabric, and I'll show you how to do that within the tutorial. And they're also nice and large in size, so you can do a really nice display in there. And then the other thing you'll need is just a piece of wood or card to make the base. I'm going to start by making the base, and for that I'm using a 2.5mm thick wood. That's 3/32 of an inch, and you can use any type of wood, it doesn't matter, even balsa wood would be okay for this, or you can use card. But if you're using something like a cereal packet card, then sort of cut 2 or 3 pieces so you've got this thickness, as we need that to apply the fabric around. And begin by just with a piece of sandpaper making a rounded corner. So you're just sweeping it along and bringing it into an upright position as you bring it towards you. And you want to do that on each of the corners. If you're using card, then obviously just snip a sort of corner off on each piece. And then you can use a sort of finer grade just to tidy that up. Okay, so I've got a piece here that I did earlier. And just put that to one side, and then want to cut a piece of fabric, and this measures 100mm by 30mm, so that's about 4 inches by 1 3/16 high. So 100 by 30mm, 4 inches by 1 3/16. And then we want to fold over a hem just 3mm or 1/8 of an inch along each long edge. So make a fold in the fabric and just crease that in with your fingers along each long edge. And then you can use any sort of PVA glue, fabric glue, but I actually find that my Gorilla wood glue does the trick on this type of fabric. So I've dispensed some here onto a piece of card, and I'm just using a cocktail stick to apply it along each of those creases. And then fold that down. And do that along each of the long edges. If you're using a fabric that doesn't sort of seem to be sticking, you can use pegs to hold it down while the glue dries. I find that with some fabrics they don't sort of take as well. Okay, so here's one that I did earlier, and the glue was completely dried. And then you want to fold over a hem along one short edge, and again just 3mm or 1/8 of an inch, and that will give us a nice tidy back seam. So apply glue around each edge of the wood or the card if you've used cardboard. And then you want to lay that roughly in the centre along one of these long edges. and so that it's right at the bottom edge there, and press that down, making sure that it's straight. And then you want to bring up this side, the unhemmed side, glue it around the side, keeping it nice and tight, and along that back edge. Just hold that down till the glue begins to take. And then just apply glue along that edge. If you need to sort of reapply glue if it starts to dry off a bit, you can just do that now. And then bring up the remaining side. Pressing it against the base, and then press it against the edge of the other piece of fabric. Just put your fingers inside there and press it together. So we've basically just wrapped that fabric around our base. I'll trim that piece off in a minute. And there's our sort of basic bag structure. You can pinch the corners out a bit to make it more of a bag shape. And then just leave that until the glue has dried. We're now going to make the handles on this bottom base strip, and for that I'm using this fine glove leather. If you don't want to use leather, you can just use fabric, as we have done with the blue and white bag. If you're using fabric, cut a strip that's 3 times thicker than you need it. So in this case the handles are 2.5mm thick, so that's 3/32 of an inch. So you want to cut it about 7.5mm, or what's that, 3/8 of an inch maybe, just under. And then glue over a narrow hem along one long edge. And once the glue has dried, glue the remaining hem down, and that just gives you a nice sort of solid piece rather than having frayed edges. If you just sort of cut a thin strip of fabric, the edges will fray. So that's just a way of doing it that'll avoid that. But I'm going to use the leather, which I think looks really nice with this canvas. And for the handles you need to cut a piece that is 2.5mm thick, 3/32 of an inch by 70mm long, which is 2 3/4 inches long. And then you want to apply glue to the leather to the height of the bag. So just roughly make a mark like that with your fingers, and then you just want to apply glue to that end of the leather. And the same on the other end. And then you can just do this by eye again. You just want to place it, so there's the sort of centre of the bag, so just away from the centre by about 1/8 of an inch. And again you can just do this by eye, no need to measure, and just glue that strap into place there. And then bring this piece round and glue that down so that you're sort of leaving an even amount of space at the other side of the bag, so that the strap is level with the bottom. And just press those down. Just remove any excess glue, although that will dry in and should be clear. And then we just want to repeat that at the back of the bag. And if you want longer handles, just make your strip of leather longer, or your fabric. Make a nice sort of beach bag or something. And you could even make the bag bigger. Once you know this sort of process, you can just copy it if you want it to make a larger shopping bag or beach bag. Okay, we're doing the same thing again. And just pop your fingers inside and press that down. Or even, you know, you don't have to do the handles to the bottom of the bag, you could just do them up there, maybe cut a little point in the bottom of each side. It's up to you. Okay, and then for the strap around the bottom, it's 100mm, which is 4 inches long, and we're going to apply glue again to the leather strap. And then put the front of the bag again roughly in the centre of the leather, so that it's right at the bottom, along that bottom edge. Again, just pull round these side pieces. Press that down. And then bring around your other side. Making sure you keep it right at the bottom. There's our bag. And then this bag is designed sort of to be stood on a chair or on a surface. But if you did want to sort of hang it, you can either cover this base piece in fabric or paint it, which just makes it look a little bit nicer. But for this one, I just wanted it as a stand-in bag that you can then create a display in. And I'll show you what I did with mine next. So I've used my bag as a grocery shopping bag, and I've just done a display in here with packets and some vegetables. I copied a Doll's House magazine that I had just onto normal paper, just folded that round. I've glued everything in because I want to keep this as a sort of permanent miniature. But if it's just something you want to use for a display that you'll then sort of change, you can just sort of stick them in. And I've used just little bits of screwed up tissue paper just to give a bit of height to some of the things and just to hold them in place a bit more. Try and do a display that sort of fills the whole bag and sort of spreads out and give a bit of height in the centre. Always looks quite nice. And if you're going to have a go, I'd love to see what you do with your bag. So do get in touch, either through, you can email me, I'll put the email address below, or get in touch through Facebook. And let's see what you come up with. I hope you enjoyed this project. Do subscribe to the channel, as I'll be adding lots more furniture tutorials and miniature tutorials soon. And thank you for watching.